Debby is a stronger hurricane at landfall and bigger impacts are moving toward the southeast. Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice going state by state to let you know what Debby will do and just how far inland it will get. But the simple fact is this system is a monster and it's going to present a threat for historic flooding. I don't use the word catastrophic often, but when you get 16 to 24 inches of rain that could fall in areas like Savannah, Georgia, Hilton Head Island, Charleston, South Carolina, those cities cannot handle that much rain in the short period of time that we're tracking here. So let's get right to it. I'm going to give you what I'm seeing right now, and I want you to let me know in the comment section where you're watching from. And if you're new to this channel, lock it in right here. Subscribe right now because we're going to keep you posted along the path of this and any other tropical system that could come our way later this year. And by the way, Debby, not the only system in town that we're tracking here. There is another area that's going to move toward the Lesser Antilles as we go throughout the day tomorrow that's weaker that could have some impacts down the road. But let's focus in on Debby because that is the system right now that we need to watch in closely. New track from the National Hurricane Center honing in on a 90-mile-per-hour landfall. That's approaching Category 2 status, so it is getting stronger. Stronger impacts initially mean stronger impacts down the line. And unfortunately, with this system, it pumps the brakes. We've seen that with Florence. We've seen that with Harvey. I'm not saying this storm is going to be either of those, but they're good examples of what happens when a system pumps the brakes and rides a coast. You get flooding and tremendous amounts of flooding. And unfortunately, that's the fear here. As the winds will die down, the rain's not going anywhere. We're going to get a lot of it in a short period of time in Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. I'm going to do my best to pinpoint county by county even where you can expect this. So please, again, comment section, let me know where you're watching from, subscribe, share this with your family. That would really help us out as we help you out. Moving forward here, as we look at our most reliable computer models in great agreement with a Panama City to Big Bend region landfall. This would be a Cat 1, Cat 2. Now remember, the strongest winds, as I'll show you on the recon data here in just a moment, are on the right and northeast side of that. In fact, let me go ahead and show you that because I think it bears watching here as we have seen the hurricane hunters zigzag inside this. They've seen tropical storm force winds numerous times in this, and the pressure as low as 993. So hey, it's a stronger system. It's getting more organized. And you can see as we give you kind of that diagram of where the strongest winds are, it's that northeast quadrant right here, 25 miles out from the eye. And you got some really good winds in here. Again, northeast quadrant, a little bit removed from that eye wall, probably the second or third band from the eye wall. That said, you see, again, the core here is in this direction. As it continues to move on through, that's going to be key. So when you kind of look at the wind speeds, they get up to a peak of about 40, 45 knots. And again, that's a pretty solid tropical storm there. All right, so again, looking at this with a different eye now, you know where the strongest winds are located. So Panama City, yes, you'll get some rain. Destin, you even get some rain. But the worst of this is going to be for Cedar Key and for Central Florida throughout the next 24 hours. That includes you folks in Disney, Universal. I've got so many friends that apparently are at Disney World this week. I'm going to break that down for you county by county because you're maybe trying to come home. You need to know when to outrun that. That's going to be in about 2 minutes. So stay tuned if you're in Florida watching this right now. But here goes the overall view. Each line here in really good congruency. They're aligned, which I like to see as a meteorologist. It helps me know this is a pretty accurate forecast. The problem here is spills back out over water. European, the GFS take it back out over water. The UK wants to keep it right over I-95. Either way, it's got a foot in the water. That's going to allow it to stay a tropical storm or maybe even intensify a little bit. Then it kind of meanders or wobbles along the coast. A little bit east today, which means Western Carolinas, upstate South Carolina, Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, Asheville. Yeah, you'll get some rain, but it's not going to be severe. Same with Charlotte, same with Atlanta. All right, this continues to move up toward the north and east, kicking out of here by Friday, Saturday's time frame. So there you have the main models. Here are the main models in a different view. I just think that this view, the spaghetti models, gives you kind of an idea, but I really like looking at it in a different way, which is these models right in here that really kind of show you an idea of where it's all going. Let me get back to the SHIPS model. It is a model that specifically focuses in on tropical systems. It's hinting at a Cat 1, and then a storm, and then a depression kind of just meandering its way up the 95 corridor in South Carolina, which means the worst of the impacts are on the right and the north side. Well, we'll get some breezy conditions, a pleasant north wind, and some rain in the western Carolinas, but nothing severe as of current track. Can't stress enough, as of current track. All right, you saw the models there. Let's get right to it. Okay, so Disney World, Florida, time frame. Let's go through this. Tonight, things go downhill. You're going to start to get some rain that's going to pick up and be driving, okay? So tonight into tomorrow, you see that northeast quadrant is now making landfall. Cedar Key area, Big Bend region. No stranger to hurricanes here lately. We know that. You see that right side is the severe side. So tornadoes will be a concern tomorrow morning in Central Florida. I know some of you had some of my personal friends ask me, hey, should I try to outrun this and get up at 6 a.m.? Not early enough. You really need to leave tonight if you're trying to dodge this tomorrow and get out of Dodge because, yes, there will be severe weather along the right side of this. And honestly, it's going to be following you up 95 if you're coming back to the Carolinas from Florida. Okay, so keep that in mind. But Monday, things are really rough across Central Florida, and then it's scooting up toward Georgia. So conditions in Brunswick, Savannah, Beaufort, Hilton Head Island, Beaufort County in general. You go up toward Charleston, Folly Beach, Isle of Palms. It's going to get really rainy late Monday into Tuesday, and then it's just sitting over you. Tuesday morning, we've got driving, rain, wind, onshore flow. Tuesday's a rough day in Savannah, Hilton Head, and unfortunately, it's not moving very much. This European model that just came out, so you're seeing fresh data here, shows it going back out over near Tybee Island and Richmond Hill, and it's got a foot in the water, which allows it to strengthen a little bit. That's going to send in more rain, more wind. But what you're seeing here is some rain bands getting into the Midlands, not much for the upstate, so we're pretty dry, but the consistent, persistent, just driving heavy rain is what's the problem here across Savannah, Hilton Head, and Charleston. Then it's back out over water, strengthening possibly to a tropical storm or a Cat 1 hurricane, and it's still there Wednesday. Wednesday, it's meandering closer to Myrtle Beach. Wednesday night, Thursday, it's Myrtle Beach into Horry County up toward the North Carolina state line, possibly as a Cat 1 just off the coast. Again, the persistent, just driving rain's the problem here. Not much for the western Carolinas at all. Then it makes its landfall, possibly the second one is a hurricane, Wednesday night, Thursday, and then we're getting a little bit more rain in Spartanburg, maybe as west as Greenville. Charlotte's getting some rain. Raleigh-Durham's getting some rain Thursday night, and then by Friday, it's kicking on out a week low, and we're saying good riddance and improving conditions. Let's look at the granular details here. So how fast are the winds when it makes landfall? This brand new model, again, just came out showing 60 to 75 mile per hour winds, so a Cat 1 hurricane near Cedar Key up through the Big Bend region. I mean, it's rocking and rolling. And then those gusty winds get back out over water. Remember, I told you if it's got a foot in the water, it's going to be able to produce some strong winds. Charleston as high as 55 to 60 mile per hour winds. Horry County in general, the Grand Strand 50 to 55 mile per hour winds. Then it moves inland a little bit, and Thursday, Friday, it's getting breezy in Greenville and Spartanburg, 35 mile per hour gusts. Charlotte could have a 40 mile an hour gust with some rain, not a lot, but some. Then it scoots on up toward the north, and you're improving. I want to show you the numbers for rainfall totals, folks, and this is the big deal. This is really the crux of the whole matter here is just how much rain's going to come down, and this is an average. This is the Weather Prediction Center's average of all the models, okay? So this is not just me plucking the worst model out and showing it to you. That would be irresponsible first, and I don't do that. But I normally would not show you numbers like this unless there were such good congruency and agreeance in the models. Oh, man, I mean, we're talking 9 to 10, maybe even 11 inches of rain near landfall. That's because of the consistent rain later today through tomorrow as it's slowly moving inland. Then those totals rack up really high very quickly. Inland, Pooler, Effingham County, Statesboro, Savannah, Rincon, Richmond Hill, Bryan County, Brunswick. We're talking a foot of rain between Monday night and Tuesday night. Schools are already canceled for tomorrow in many areas of South Georgia, and this is why. I mean, these are numbers that are historic, folks. I mean, this is a 1 in a 500, 1 in a 1,000 year rain event. It just devastating, to say the least. And the old adage is turn around, don't drown. The more people we can say that, it's so simple, but yet so many people just don't take it to heart. Hey, I can drive through this. I've got to get to work. I've got to get to school. No, don't do it. One, you're putting yourself at risk, and you're putting rescuers at risk, okay? All it takes is 6 inches of water to sweep a grown person off their feet, right? That's it. Water's so powerful. All it takes is 2 feet of water to wash away a big truck. I mean, doesn't matter what you're driving in, that water takes you away, or possibly the road's washed out below you. You can't drive through it, folks. The bridge could be completely gone. All of a sudden you go on that bridge and then you're gone in 5 seconds, okay? That you're going downstream with your truck. Don't do it. All right. So this is Wednesday night. We're already up to 15 inches in Charleston, Hilton Head, and Savannah. Let's advance it further. Okay. These are numbers that we're spitting out here of storm total 15 to 20 inches from Statesboro to Savannah to Hilton Head to Charleston up through Georgetown. Myrtle Beach getting about 12 inches of rain. Then you get into Columbia, as much as 5 to 6, maybe even 7 inches of rain. And then in the upstate, southern part of the upstate, Greenwood could get anywhere from 3 to 4 inches, whereas Greenville's getting, 1 to 2 inches. We'll get some rain, certainly, Thursday mainly, Thursday night. But it looks like the upstate's going to just get gentle rain, if there's such a thing. It's going to be hard and heavy at times, but steady enough and spread out enough that it shouldn't be severe. So that's the way the rain is unfolding. How about the severe aspect of it? For folks in Disney, this is when these bands come through. Tornado warnings already in place today. I see more of these inner bands that are stronger and more potent getting into Florida tonight into tomorrow. So please, if you got to leave, either stay and let this thing pass. Then you got to think you're driving into it, getting out of Florida. I would get out of Dodge prior to the storm really settling in later tonight, because here we are. It's there for Orlando, MCO North, and then it's only getting worse into the overnight hours with those bands. Tornado warnings are going to be a thing. Tony Manoffi, Eric Burris, and them at West TV in Orlando. Boy, please tune in. They'll be walking you through this storm as well as you go up toward the north. My friend Jeremy in Savannah. Just stay tuned to whomever you trust, because this is a dangerous storm that's going to produce slow-moving, just persistent rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds of rain. This goes through Tuesday, and I want to show you one of two things. First, the precipitation. Let me switch that model over. Precipitation total. There you have it. This model is a high-resolution model showing anywhere from 9 to 10 inches of rain for Central Florida up through landfall. And then look at Savannah, Hilton Head, 13.5 to 14.5. That's a reliable high-resolution model. Okay, that gets you there. Let's look at the wind gusts from this high-resolution model. 70, 75 miles per hour with 50, 60 mile per hour winds inland of Savannah up through Charleston. And this goes through Tuesday. Okay, so yeah, I mean, folks in Charleston, the eye may still be to your south, but conditions will be going downhill with 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts picking up Monday night into Tuesday. All right, so that's the concern. How about system number 2? As I mentioned at the very beginning here, all eyes are on Debby, but there's another highlighted area that National Hurricane Center has marked as an area we need to watch. Spills into the Caribbean. It's more of a track like we've seen a lot of our storms take so far this year. A low rider from the Windward Leeward Islands into Nicaragua, Honduras possibly, then curving up, and we may have something in the Gulf as late as early next week. We got time to track that, but right now that looks like more of a southern rider. If down the line it becomes a threat, it would probably be a Texas thing, but we'll have to watch those very closely. So, folks, again, the key thought here is to stay aware of what's happening, stay dialed in, because any changes to the track, any deviations will lead to changes downstream as well. Simple fact of it is, upstate South Carolina, western North Carolina, I'm not as concerned about severe weather, severe flooding. You go east of there, Charlotte, Columbia, the I-77 corridor toward the coast, much higher impacts with flooding risks. I mean, we're talking about what could be a 1 in 500, 1 in 1,000 year rain event here from Debby, because it pauses, it stalls out and makes its way slowly inland. Again, I read the comments, all of them. Please leave your message for me in the comments section. Let me know where you're watching from. And again, if you appreciate my non no sense kind of approach to weather. I'm going to tell you like it is. That's kind of my approach here, whether I'm on TV or online. I want to give you the forecast like I see it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but that does require you to be responsible with the information I give you, because I'm not going to cry wolf, but I'm also not going to hide something from you until I know it's true. Debby is dangerous. Debby needs to be taken seriously, especially in the Carolinas to Georgia into Florida. It's going to be a rough week with flooding threats big time. So please shout it out to your friends and your family. Let them know. And again, I appreciate you here online. Please subscribe to this channel, and we will keep you posted.